Back again. I was going to ask a question for someone actually regarding the Trilock. Question was put to me actually by someone who wanted to was going to purchase these, but he didn't understand that you can actually change the handing or the swing of that bolt to suit the swing of the door, the handing, and they're all the same. They come from the factory, all set up the same in the one direction. So he didn't think it was going to work on his door. It would have done. All I have to do is change that bolt 180 degrees and job done. But yeah, I'll show you how to change that bolt, the direction of that bolt, change the handing of the latch bolt, and to remove the cylinder. This is a later format. It's got the grub screw which retains the cylinder inside the assembly. The older ones, I think I've got one here. Oh, there you go. Got an old casing there. This is an old casing from the earlier version, Gainsborough Trilock. These are more labour intensive to get the cylinder out. Same process with the the latch screws there, retainer screws. But to get the cylinder out the old format, you have to just take the assembly apart and remove the cylinder and re-care to do what you want to do, and just reassemble in the opposite way you took it apart. There's 3 screws there. They're like a security head too. They're not standard Phillips head. They're a I'm not sure what they're called anyway, but yeah, they're little special head on the screw which need an adapter to get them off. What goes in there is the actual swing arm, which is works off the handset, which swings the latch in and out. But that's off an earlier version. They've changed the format to make it more easy. Cylinder removal easier than previously. But I'm not want to worry about the old one. It's the new one. Yeah, that's just held on by a grub screw basically, which you have to take the grub screw out. But so you can't get this out until you take the latch tongue assembly off. But I'll show you how to do that. It's pretty straightforward. This is only applicable to Australian conditions, and people in Australia, they might have a Gainsborough Trilock and they want to change the cylinder out or put a C4. You can get these Trilock cylinders in C4 now. So anyway, there's one screw here and one screw there. Just remove them. Actually going to kill 3 birds with one stone today. You can actually buy these assemblies off eBay. Didn't realise you can, but if you don't get them off eBay, then you've got to, if this ever plays up, then you've got to buy a whole brand new lock assembly. So you're looking at $200 plus, So anyway, just throw the bolt out with the key, and that'll sort of kick the assembly out. Another thing with these too. Over time, they do, and they can, not all the time, but sometimes, they lose their spring pressure on the latch tongue, and you end up really only having half of the tongue or the latch into the strike. That's due to the spring usually broken. See where the spring is. Yeah, that runs off a little plunger, which has a spring on it. What you'll find, if you get to that condition where the latch is retracting and it's really soft and spongy, what you find is the spring is probably usually broken at some point, and that smaller part gets compressed over time. So instead of having the full length spring and full pressure, you end up with a slack spot in there because of the compressed spring, which gives you that slackness in the tongue. But anyway, we'll put that back there for now. I'll get to that changing the handing in a minute. Yeah, once you've taken that assembly out, you can just remove the cylinder and do what you have to do and just replace it. Just see the hole there. See that? Like it's like a the Punisher skull, if you will. It's got that recess at the bottom. It sort of fits accordingly. So that ledge there goes in here. Push this is part of the assembly back in, and just make sure it works okay and it froze. And just yeah, place the screws back in and tighten it up. But to get that, change the the handing of the tongue. We do just push this bar, push it in, and flick it, and just sort of put it away from its little recess there. Put it all away. Just turning around and just hook it back in and flick it back. Then that way you've changed the handing of the tongue or the latch. Alright. So that's basically it. Yeah. Another little problem sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it I don't know, it does wear in there over time, every now and occasionally. No rhyme or reason, it's just wear and tear. What happens is sometimes the actual actuator overshoots this, overruns where it's supposed to retract, and you get to some point where you turn the key and you'll get a bit of a motion of the latch going in, but the key will just flip around, and I'll keep doing that. If you get to that point, then you've got to change the assembly. But like I say, you can get these off eBay. I think they're $45. If not, you've got to buy the whole assembly. But anyway, I'll worry about that in a minute. Yeah, question. That's that Chinesium crappy plug. I've got 4 different pins here. I've got the original pin that come out of this Chinesium. Just look at that. It's a dual pin actually. You can turn it over either. It's got the same type of both. It's got dual ends on it, so you can use it as a symmetrical key pin if you want. But obviously that's the correct pin for it. What all happened when I was out in the field, I've never come across this before. Never had a Chinesium core where I couldn't get a pin out of what I have to fit in there. Usually the Gainsborough would slip in there, but this one they might change the machining in the factory in China, who knows, but this is a Gainsborough. They're sort of going to about halfway and it's just, yeah, dead stop, so obviously you can't use that. So lab pin, again, that was never going to work. This one's it's a bloody Lockwood key pin, and again it was never going to work. So yeah, I'll actually measure them on here too. And this is it's only a cheapo, bloody digital caliper too. It's not a vernier or vernier caliper or a micrometer or anything of his precise things like that. So with these measurements, I'll give someone out there who's interested, I think. It's the Gainsborough one. I think he said 284, depending on your caliper as well. So, but mine's 2.77 on the Gainsborough. lab. It's 294, 2.94 mil. The Lockwood should be close to the lab, very close I think, 2.9. And as for that Chinesium one, it's 2.58. So there you go, 2.58. Okay, 10 minutes. Okay, well, I have one more thing before I go. So this is for Murloc. I didn't realise, I just found it by accident actually. Murloc sent me a package probably 12 months ago now. And in the package was the master lock, combination lock, the resettable type with the key. I couldn't find that bloody key. I thought, shit, oh well, that's life. But I found it today actually. It's in this key, which should have been in that box obviously, was in the in one of those boxes with the headgear, believe it or not, because I've actually assembled that headgear completely now. I found this in the bottom of the box, so well, people are probably aware of it anyway, but I'll show you how they work. Yeah, change the combination, you've got to open it obviously. Yeah, that little key goes in one way, that little leg on the end of the key goes into that teardrop section. Push it right in, insert it fully under spring pressure, just turn it 90 degrees, and just put in the new combo. So what we got, I don't know, let's go 555, eh? Yeah, I could have put in Don's Lock's birthday, but 1947 or something, but no, you're joking, mate. Anyway, yeah, so, and when you've done it, you have the desired combinations in there. Just push the key in and turn it back 90 degrees, retract it, and give it a test run, eh? See, I hate doing things through the camera, it's bloody annoying. So 555, yeah. There you go. Anyway, that'll do. So yeah, Mur, rest assured, mate, I found it. Hey, so I'll put it back in the box. Anyway, that'll do. I'll put this down as a lock chat type thing, just to get the videos up. Yeah, and that's about it for now. So until next time, goodbye.